The short and the tall black dudes.
When you say you are blessed among men, and I'm trying to look at my chest, unfortunately, I'm not. I don't have this hefty
It's
chest.
the one
I would
you
have
have,
said,
I'm okay with that.
I want to be your Schwarzenegger or your Jackie Chan. But unfortunately, I have one amusement park. I don't have 6 pack. I have one amusement park.
Just
but
one?
they do. But they have amusement park. That can contain some shawarma.
They like the amusement park more than the 6 packs. Because the amusement park carries the money bag. You know.
Rema.
So the 6 packs doesn't, no money.
The 6 pack boys, they don't have money. But the
I don't
amusement
accept
park
that.
boys, they have.
Oda.
You can attest to that.
So how are you doing, Olabode?
I'm very well. It's a good time to be alive as usual, and I'm doing fine this morning, you know. After a long time away, coming on set for the first time this week, it's a real thing. The week was actually very tough one for me. On Monday, I had to come in from Ilaro. So, yeah, and you know, this road leading to Ilaro, very bad, that Songo road. They just did some part, and some parts there is still very much terrible. And when I was coming back, rain fell. And it was a difficult one. The car was inside, the screen was kind of bad, so we couldn't see what is ahead. So we had to park for some time so that the rain could subside, and the AC was not working also. So we had to just park for some time, but thank God we are here again.
Thank God. Jeffta, how are you doing?
Very well. Did you miss me?
Yes, I did.
I know you did. I know the viewers at home, at a point you miss me, but I'm here. Thank God, like Bode said, it's a good time to be alive. It's the 4th day of May. It's already running. In this part of the world, in this part of the denomination, you know, we dedicate the first 3 days to fasting and prayer to lead us through the month. And I'm sure you did that too, so that the month will be solid. But they did not do that. I know you like food.
No, you can't be too sure.
Okay.
You can't be too sure.
Okay. But we thank God we are alive, and we are hoping and praying that it's going to be a nice month. We are here for you, and it's going to be a nice show, definitely. And before we continue, I must say that when we are blessed among men, you are looking beautiful too.
Thank you.
No, I wanted to say that this morning actually.
I forced you. So.
You look, you know,
Thank
astonishing.
You. Consider me first, please.
My husband first, because he told me before I left the house. So second.
I blew.
So something happened yesterday when I was going home, and I felt somehow. I wasn't happy when I was going home. I saw a woman. She was just pouring water on a small boy, and I was wondering what happened. Is this like Fulani woman or something from the north? And I was just wondering. Then I looked back and saw her. She has about 3 children lying on the ground. I was like, so I looked back. I left that. I still looked back like, what's happening? Like, other 3 children are lying on the ground, and she was pouring water on one. So that means there are about 4 children. And I was wondering, when you see the woman, you know that, you know, they are malnourished. You know that they... Yes, they are not, even the children, they are not feeding well. You see it. And the child was crying. So I was like, so what happened to this boy? Is it that the boy is sick? Or is the boy vomiting? Or why was she pouring water on the boy? And after leaving that thing, I was telling myself, I said, this is Nigeria, where nobody cares about anybody. Nobody cares about you. Normally, people were supposed to go meet and, madam, what happened? Why are you pouring water on this boy so that they can help? But everybody could come me. Even if your neighbor is crying, it's could come me. And before you know it, it will still affect you one way or the other. So I felt for that, I was like, what is happening? You know that you don't have enough money to cater for these children, and you kept on bringing them up to 4.
Okay.
The truth about the matter is that those children might not be from a particular father. So that's the lifestyle of the Almajiris, you know, where they live before they come out on the street to beg. the men that house them, you know, there is they have like a particular compound where most of them live. So different men take turns, you know, just what you can pay to pass the night. So different men take turns on them, and they have multiple children with different fathers. So it's not like they are married to this particular person that is taking care of them. That's why you see most of them on the streets. Though we can blame it on the government too, because the government of their states can actually keep them back in the state and help them. But instead, they throw them all to Lagos and other parts of the country to go and start begging. You see them everywhere in Lagos. And
even in Ketu here, you see the children dragging you.
They're not really training them out. Like you said, the government has not provided that opportunity for them. So they are going off to feed for themselves. That is why you see them going to different places. And in this part of the country, which is the southwest or the south-south, it's not really, yes, you see them begging, but unlike in the north, when they get to a certain age, 2, 3, they give them a bowl to start begging. And I know, yes, they're like they call them almajiris. And you see them, because I've been in the north, you see them with their plate. They go from each house to each house. Your leftover food, they are ready to take it. That is how they feed, especially for the male child. For the female child, they still hold on to the child, try to look for a way. But the male, no. When it's 3 at most, you go to the street with your bowl, with your plate, and start begging when we're feeding for yourself and all that. That is the irony of how that society is like there. It's like, yeah, it's a cost and K kind of thing there. It's just there, and you can't tend to, it will be hard to erase it, because it's like, it runs in the blood already. It's like that.
Their way of life.
Yes, it's just like that, and it goes on. I'm talking about people not caring. You know, we are in a country whereby if you are not being careful, your actions, your inactions can be taken beyond board. Before they can tell you, say, they do too much, really concern you. So everybody starts, they want to hold themselves and say, no, I don't want to be insulted and all that stuff. So most time people just look at you and let you be, do your thing. Every man for himself, God for all of us. That is the ideology. That, yeah, every man will just get to now. Every man will just get to as they talk. So everybody just like that, and that is why people avoid even helping people. If to even say sorry these days on the way when you see somebody coughing or beside you,
you think twice.
You think twice, because you don't know how you will say it, and the other person is angry. We are on a default anger mood in Nigeria. Everybody is angry.
That's true.
So if you talk everybody go give you your size once. So everybody wants to just be on their own lane and all that. So it's the whole reflection of the society, what we have. That's why you never shop. You know, if we greet you with smile now. So it's like that.
And
the government should just do something.
It's even the way the children, those little ones who are you are going on the street, they just go, auntie, God will bless you, God will provide for you. God
it's even okay. This one, they will just drag your hand.
They can follow you for this. They can follow you for a long distance just for you to give them something.
There was a day I was going home. I was having this and take away my bag. I wanted to go and eat it at home, and the boy was just, auntie, please. I was like, there's no money. I don't even have cash to give. I was just having my tip fare. He said, hey, auntie, please, and something else. He said, well, you have food in your. So I was forced to I brought out the food. Oh yeah.
So what did you eat?
I did not. I went to cook another food.
Jesus went about doing good. Jesus Christ.
Beautiful.
All right. Let's check what we have on the newspaper front pages for this morning. I have the Punch newspaper. Yes, this particular headline caught my attention, and that's why I'm reading it first. 26 days to go. Outrage as Senate approves Buhari's 22.7 trillion naira extra budgetary. Are you people listening?
Yeah.
Outrage as Senate approves Buhari's 22.7 trillion naira extra budgetary spending. Fresh borrowing from CBN illegal. Suspicious, say NECA, LCCI, and economists. 22.7 trillion naira extra budgetary spending to raise public debt to 69 trillion naira. The story is on page 2. Well, it's kind of
the approval.
26 days to. Why are they approving more like 22.7 trillion naira? Okay.
Yeah, that is the irony of where we are as a country. It has been there. This is not the first time. Federal government leaving, they bring projects that they know they cannot complete because it's just a way of just siphoning funds for that remaining time to get what they want. Then the biggest heartbreak for me is the loans and the debts. That's the biggest heartbreak because it's not them that will pay it now. It's our children now. Our children will pay. We that we are just coming up will pay. So they are just a phase. They will soon leave. They leave us to our own problem. They have caused problem. They leave us, and we keep paying, and we don't have a future, so to say, because the future have been mortgaged with all these loans. That is just the pathetic part of this whole thing.
But I feel the Senate shouldn't have approved.
I was almost saying
money
the
because
money
it's
is
already,
not
just
much.
26 days. It's already going.
We are in together. It's the same thing. It's not for just one person.
I did not know that it was trillion. I was saying million.
No,
It's
trillion.
Have you
I
ever
just saw
seen
it.
million in anything in Nigeria?
I just saw it
Nigeria's,
and it's funny.
Billions.
Either
Trillions.
It will be a money that can pronounce billion or million that you can say.
All right. Sudan. 376 stranded Nigerians airlifted from Egypt. The story is on page 15. FG disconnects discourse from national grid over debts. I hope this will not affect us. FG disconnects discourse from national grid over debts. You can read the full story on page 19. Strike. Resident doctors say FG's threats annoying. You can read the story on page 7. APC NWC fails to zone National Assembly leadership seats. The story is on page 21. Police arrest Osun twins for cultism. That's a sad one. The story is on page 5. Senate proposes life jail for unlawful explosives makers. You can read the story on page 15. Agenda 2050. FG projects $33,000 per capita GDP. All right, that's all from the Punch newspaper. Buddy.
All right, this morning I have with me the Vanguard newspaper, and the biggest news is still about the outrage, but here it says NLC TUC kick as Senate OK's federal government's 22.7 trillion ways and means. It's shocking, says NLC. Approval creates room for suspicion, says TUC. We approved advances to avert government shutdown, says Lawan. Says move will allow National Assembly consider pending 2022 supplementary budget. You can find all this on the page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. The other news says Forex turnover in I&E window falls 46% to $1.4 billion, and that's on page 19. Lobby me for refund. I don't owe you, Tinubu tells Wike. Lobby me for refund. I don't owe you, Tinubu tells Wike. You can find the news on page 10 of the Vanguard newspaper. Oil. Nigeria, 4 others account for over 80% of Africa's output. That's the report. You can find the news on page 4. 10th National Assembly, we are working on consensus arrangement. Says this is coming from APC, and you can find the news on page 27 of the Vanguard newspaper. Senate can't stop demolition work at Lagos Airport. This is coming from Minister. You can read that news on page 6. Again, Labour Party disowns a Papa-led faction, blames APC governors, NWC members. You can read that news on page 4. But one of the sad news I am able to see this morning is the organ harvesting. Senate seeks pardon for Ekweremadu. I don't know why we should seek pardon for Ekweremadu. If it was a nobody that is being caught in the net now, we would have said they would have even been the one to prosecute that person. But now they are seeking pardon from the people overseas for Ekweremadu. I don't know.
I say you can. This is on a lighter mood, though, but your child is always your child, no matter how he or she does bad. So when you beat him with one, try with another.
Yorùbá will say, "Ọmọ ẹni ò lè burú títí kalẹ̀ fẹ́ kún pàjẹ́." That's what you say. Okay. But it's just funny. How can you harvest organs, whether from dead body or somebody that is alive, and you are seeking pardon for such person? I don't know. But you can read that news on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. And Sudan crisis, first batch of 400 evacuees expected in Abuja. That is, we are expecting the first batch of 400 people that has been evacuated from Sudan in Abuja. You can read it on page 4. My 4 wives, 28 children, prove I'll succeed as speaker. It's not me. It's Dogua, one of those vying for the position of Speaker, House of Representatives. You can read the news on page 4. So it means that he has 4 wives and 28 children. So if I can govern them, definitely I am fit to be the speaker.
Yeah, and he has a good portfolio. It's a good CV. Yeah, it's just like somebody.
I don't have any comment for that.
You don't have comment for that. Definitely, we should go and marry more wives so that we can
have leadership qualities.
Yes, that will be part of our CV. Okay, Olufason, how the Supreme Court interprets the Constitution and determines the presidential election petitions matters hugely. Fingers crossed. That news is on page 16. That's from Olufason. And the last one from Sport this morning says, Okocha drags Diouf Radebe song Kanute to Nigeria. And that's Okocha bringing in the later part of this year. We'll be bringing in some of the Africa's best we have seen. We'll be bringing them to Nigeria for maiden edition of Heroes Penalty. It's a competition that is to kick off later in the year. And the picture news shows that Tinubu in Rivers, where he was commissioning the Rumukuta and Rumuola flyover in Port Harcourt. And those are the news from the Vanguard newspaper.
Thank you, Jeff.
I have with me the Nigerian Tribune this morning, and the major headline is about Tinubu to Wiki yesterday when he went to commission some projects in Rivers State. I owe you nothing, as Rivers State governor asked for a refund of 80 billion naira spent on projects. I will not marginalize any part of Nigeria, President-elect promises. I saw the video, it was a funny one, when the President-elect said that he will leave banter. He said he will leave Sanwo-Olu to answer Wike, the banter, that is now the President-elect and is his president. So he's a small boy. Sanwo-Olu is a small boy.
I just sense politics there. It's just they are just playing politics, because I know they will refund Wike for everything he did for them.
Yeah, he made it. It's good when you see somebody who is witty and another person is a bit witty. You make the whole thing conversation sweet. Yeah, Wike is a very funny person. Banter here and there. Now the president-elect is learning to banter too, and it's good. Let them banter each other. That is on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune. There's a story on page 5. APC National Working Committee and 4 hours meeting without decision announced leadership. So they are, according to the paper, they are still waiting for the president-elect input that's coming from Adamu. And on page 28, police to demolish, rebuild 25 distressed barracks in Lagos. That is on page 28. And there's a story of demolition work going on at the Lagos airport on page 30. The FG, federal government, telling the Senate that they cannot stop that work. The issue of the budget later approved is on page 29 of the Nigerian Tribune. I'll run quickly on page 5. Lagos hand over 215 electoral offenders to INEC for prosecution. That's on page 5. We didn't see all these people during the election. Electoral offenders, we didn't see them, unfortunately. But we have 215 here. On page 15 also, Buhari launches Agenda 2050, says Nigeria to become top economy by 2050. So I was going through the whole budget, the whole Agenda 2050 thing, that the initiative objective is to ensure that the country attain a per capita GDP of about $33,328 per annum, placing her among the top middle income economies in the world by 2050. So we hope 2050 is how many years from now? About 17 years or so. Yeah.
This is 2023.
years.
No, it's more than 17
years.
27.
27 years.
27 years.
Yes.
Wow.
This is 2023.
Wow. Okay. Maybe I will become grandpa by that self. I don't know. That's so good. That's on page 15. And on page 2, a Papa-led LP faction holds neck in Bauchi, says we will pursue Obi's petition to logical conclusion. And on page 4, the 10th NANS, 180 minority members elect form coalition to produce speaker. Dogawa joins race, says alleged murder case not an hindrance. Wase Batara await APC zoning formula. Akande declares interest in deputy speakership. All those are on page 4. And lastly, on page 30, Africans living in UK battle for survival. There is a report coming in, say they are burdened by cost of living crisis, shrinking labor force, and homelessness. This is something that we should really talk about. It's not everything is green on the other side. They just picture that this side is green, leave Nigeria, Jackpot. It's not always like that most time. So hopefully, maybe because we are kind of out of time, but this is a topic that we should discuss. Maybe in subsequent edition of this program, we'll talk more on that for people to know that, yes, there's always two sides to a coin, and you have to prepare for it. It's not just enough to jack.
But the people having the issue are those who didn't prepare before going.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is on page 30. The picture story is of the President Buhari, Minister of Finance, and Dr. Zainab when they were presenting the Agenda 2050. There's another story. The Super Eagles losing yesterday to Morocco in the ongoing Under-17 African Cup of Nations. Morocco has 2 wins and they have qualified for the semi-finals. We are hoping that Nigeria, the Golden Eagles, will beat their next opponent, which is Mali, I guess. No, South Africa. And hopefully they can qualify for the World Cup, Under-20 World Cup later this year. And the D Tigers have been grouped in a group of that comprises of Senegal, Uganda, and Mali for the upcoming qualifiers, Olympic qualifiers. We hope that the D Tigers will be able to do well. All right, that is all I have. There's a silent I would have loved to read. It says the government minister in Uganda, Charles Ngola, a retired colonel, was on Tuesday shot dead by his bodyguard. And he says, trust nobody, even if he or she is paid to protect you. So this minister was shot dead by his own bodyguard in Uganda. He's telling us that trust nobody, even the person is paid to protect you, whether it's a family member.
So the person can be used against
Anybody.
you.
Trust nobody.
Trust nobody.
So
just trust
God.
Trust
God and
God
yourself.
and yourself.
For people like
All
me,
right.
I don't trust myself. So.
That's not good. All right, thank you guys for that. It's time to listen to the wise advice from the wise old man, Bar Solomon. Good morning.
Good morning, Jesus. Good morning, Lord. I know you come from heavenly above. The Holy Spirit is on the throne. Good morning, Jesus. And good morning to all my viewers, all lovers of Pa Solomon. Oh. Good morning. Oh. It's a good one Thursday. The 4th day in the month of May. 4/5/2023. 4/5 is sounded like money. 4,005. My name is Pa Solomon. And the Bible is my watchword. In case you are meeting me for the first time, this is Word of Wisdom segment. And the Word of Wisdom. The Word of Wisdom that I have for you today, Thursday. I want you to listen very well. Courage does not mean you don't get afraid. Courage means you don't let fear stop you. Courage doesn't mean you don't get afraid. But courage means you don't let fear stop you. Yorùbá will say, tọ́mọdé bá débi ẹ̀rù ẹ̀rù á bà. No matter how courageous you are, when you get to a fearful place, fear will catch you. You see? No matter the power you have, no matter how powerful you are, when you get to a fearful, a terrific place, fear will overshadow you. But courage doesn't mean that, you know, there are some people that they are so courageous that there's nothing that they cannot face. There's nothing that they cannot face. When you are telling them, don't go there, they will go. When you say, that place is, you will see them there. It is not because they are not afraid. It's because that they don't allow fear to stop them. Who am I talking to? I am talking to you. I am talking to you. I know fear must have stopped you from doing so many things. Some people supposed to have been, they are supposed to have been at their highest level, but because of fear, what you should try, you fail to try it. Some people, they advise them to apply for a job, but because they see crowd, they say, there are too much people there. I don't know anybody there. I don't have connection. A lot of people apply for that particular job. They cannot even take me because I'm not connected. Fear. Maybe it's the one that they wanted, but he or she had failed to apply. Courage doesn't mean you don't get afraid. Courageous people, they fear a lot too, but you will not see it in them. They will not allow that fear to stop them. What has fear stopped in your life? Fear has stopped you from succeeding. Fear has stopped you from having your breakthrough. Fear has stopped you from having your victory. My children, don't allow fear to stop you. That thing that you are afraid to do, I want you to lay your hands upon it now. Because Bible says that God has not given us the spirit of fear, but spirit of sound mind. Your mind must be sound. You see? That is the word of wisdom I have for you today, my children. You that is watching me. Maybe you wanted to apply for that position in your office, but you thought maybe you are not qualified. Apply first. Stop allowing fear. You are afraid that if I talk to that sister, Oma want me. He's going to embarrass me. Talk to her first. Talk to her. You even like this man that you are afraid to. Why not? You are afraid to talk to your boss in the office. And then later you feel cheated because you cannot talk. You are afraid to even talk to your husband. You are afraid to talk to your landlord. My children, don't allow fear to stop you. And I pray that God will give you a spirit of sound mind in the name of Jesus. And make sure that the Bible is your watchword. The Bible, make sure it's your watchword. Because it's Pa Solomon watchword.
We shall see tomorrow Friday by the grace of God. Continue to jolly your life and continue to work harder. You will return home safely in the name of Jesus. Till tomorrow we shall see so. Bye.
As a Christian, have you been looking forward to visiting Israel and all the historic places mentioned in the Bible? Worry no more, as the Apostolic Church Nigeria Lorna Territory, in conjunction with Unique Pilgrims Travels and Tour International Limited, presents Israel Pilgrimage 2023, which comes up between 5th to 14th July 2023. You will, during the pilgrimage, be able to visit places like Nazareth, Bethlehem, Mount Zion, Mount Olive, Upper Room, Mount of Transfiguration, Elisha's Fountain, and other historic sites. Interested persons can get their registration forms from Lorna Administrative Secretary's office or call this number 080-3328-2670 for further inquiries. Please note that the registration closes on the 31st of May 2023. Don't miss this opportunity, as it's an opportunity of a lifetime. Jesus Christ is Lord.
Thanks for staying with us. It is still Morning Delight on Glorious Vision Television. And Pastor Lou, thank you for that word of wisdom. He's talking about fear. And, you know, you shouldn't allow fear to stop you from whatever you want to do. All right, that leads us to what we'll talk about today, because we are talking about Israel Pilgrimage 2023. You know, some people are afraid of, I don't have the money, how will I get there and all that. That's why we are bringing this show to you, so that you know, if you really want to go, you can just contact us and you get the amount. And don't be afraid, the amount is not. So actually, Baba will tell us, the guests we have in the house will tell us, but don't be afraid. If you really want to go, you can still go. All right, we have in the studio Pastor P.F. Usman, is the Lorna Missionary Field Chairman. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Tolu.
Thanks
Good
for
morning,
coming
sir.
again.
Buddy, how was the match?
Fine, sir.
Okay. We'll come back to that after the program. Jeff, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
And viewers, good morning.
So, I think where we stopped last week was we are talking about the affordability. Okay, those that didn't watch the program last week, we brought Baba last week and he spoke a little about the trip. So we want to continue from where we stopped last week. So, Baba, we're talking about the affordability of it, if it is really affordable, because, you know, some people, they might not even ask amount about the amount. They just want to say, the thing is expensive and all that. So I want you to tell us, how affordable is it, since the church is partnering with a particular, I think, Unique Travel and Tour and all that. So just tell us, is it affordable for us?
Well, thank you, Tolu. Once again, I say shalom. The Holy Pilgrimage, whether it's affordable or not, the other program we had last week, I said affordability depends on the either interpretation or definition. What I can afford may be, for example, like 10,000. And that 10,000, you cannot, another person cannot afford it. And some other people may be able to pay conveniently 1 million. So it depends on what is the ability. Ability determines what one can afford.
Yes.
But generally, in a general term, I want to say that Holy Pilgrimage, by the word affordability, depends on the package.
Okay.
The package. Some people will package their own, they will tell you it's 1 million. But you don't know what is inside the package. Then some other people will tell you it's 1.5. You may be able to bear it. But what is important there to determine whether it's affordable or not is what is the mind of a person towards what he wants to do.
Okay.
Holy pilgrimage is a project. Some people save from the beginning of the year to the time they want to travel. So I can say now, to round it up of this question, that it is affordable.
Oh.
It is affordable.
Okay, so you have tried to bring in some words that when we are having a topic or we're discussing, talking about this issue of pilgrimage, we only say Israel pilgrimage 2023, and that's how we have been talking about it. But in your own life, you have always consciously be adding that word holy. Holy. Why that word holy pilgrimage? I want you to explain it more to the viewers why you are so particular about that word, trying to bring that word into it.
Yes, we have different activities.
Okay.
And the importance of each has to do with the nature. This Christian pilgrimage is always tagged holy because we attribute it to the Holy God.
Yeah.
He commanded it. It is not man's instruction, it is God's injunction. It's holy because it has to do with the Holy God. It's holy because the activities there has to do with the holiness of God and the holy living, which changes life of people to become holy like God. It is a journey or pilgrimage that has to do with the being of man as far as his relationship to God is concerned. And if you are to deal with God, move with God, partner with God, fellowship with God, be in company with God, you must be holy. And that is the reason why that holy is attached to that pilgrimage.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay. I have two questions, but I think I should first of all ask this: do we have is this special treatment, I'll call it now, package for people with health issues, maybe some particular health issues? Do we have measures to take care of those set of people? Maybe people living with one ailment or the other at the moment, and okay, they just feel before anything happens, let's go. Is there a group to cater for them?
Yes. Health issue is an important matter in the life of man. No, there's nothing one wants to do that having good health will not count. Even as we are talking, if one is not in good health, they will ask such a person to limit the extent of the talk, either the length of the time to talk or the volume of the voice.
Yes, sir.
So this journey has to do with good health, and good health has to do with the journey. One, it's even one of the requirements for anybody going on holy pilgrimage. You must be healthy enough to go on such journey, because it's not that it's impossible, but it's rigorous. Rigorous in the sense that you have to take many places, many distances, but not at a stretch.
Okay.
And honestly speaking, it's so interesting. You don't feel you are trekking. before one goes on that journey, one of the rules is that such a person, the intended pilgrim, will have to go to his or her doctor, have full checkup, and have certificates of fitness. It's one of the papers that intended pilgrim will have to produce. They will have enough tests. And if one has particular ailment, such a person, if the doctor certifies that he or she can travel, the person must go with the medication. Must go with the medication. We don't joke with it. And before the person leaves, apart from the checkup by the doctors, there is screening by the pilgrimage, either commission or board or committee, to actually ascertain whether the person forged that certificate of fitness or not.
Good.
Because some people, out of the zeal and determination, may just say, my son, you are a doctor, write it for me. And they will stamp it in the government hospital, which is not good. So anybody going must be healthy, at least to a level. Nobody is perfect as far as health is concerned, but must be within a sizable range that will afford the person to be able to travel, so that the person will not get there and create unpleasant situations that will bring embarrassment. So must be healthy enough. And in the team, there will always people that are in the medical line that will assist. Both the agents here, the company here, and the tour company in Israel.
Okay.
Okay, since I'm just trying to do a follow-up to that.
You can go on.
Since you started that on that note of what they should have, I think it should be more of the qualification intending pilgrims should have.
Yeah.
If that is one of them, what are some of the other ones that they should have?
Majorly is this state of health.
Okay.
Majorly.
Okay.
And such a person, we have age as part of the requirements. We don't allow people who are too old to go. People who are too old to go. But
Within what age?
that's
What age? Okay.
That's what I want to say.
Okay.
Because the person, as from the age of 70, though a person of 40 could also have challenges, but physically from the age of 70, they always give them more attention.
Yeah.
Though we have people that of that age upward, they still go and come back healthy. Many of them go and they become healthier than the time they left, which is one of the miracles in the Holy Land, Israel, which many people will say Jerusalem. Yes. So that age range is there. But some people can be old but strong. Some people can be young and be fragile health-wise. So that's another thing we look at. Then another requirement, if I want to say, is psychological look on people who are not employed or not having work doing. So it's one of the qualifications. One may be young, healthy, but if they look at the papers and see that this person is not working, this person is, okay, bring your bank statement. You bring something that they look at and is so scanty. So it's another qualification. So that the person will not get there and just feel everywhere looks green. Whereas under the green grass, there could be green snakes. that will bite. So it's another qualification. And some other things that will make people to understand when they come for counseling.
All right.
Maybe you should just address what I asked last week after the show about this Japa issue for people who have the mind to say, if I cross
When
to the
they
other
get
side,
there.
I will just take off. Maybe we should just address it now.
Okay. When it was mentioned, Japa, I started wondering what does that mean. But I added 1 + 1 to make my conclusion. But sometimes 1 + 1 may not mean 2. Coming back to that is defecting
Yes, sir.
Yes.
or absconding
Yes, sir.
or running away. Any language that is the person vamoose. The person was nowhere to be found. Actually, some people have that intention, and some people actually carry it out. But majority of them, if not all, are always caught. Because the Israeli police, you hardly see people in town wearing uniform. But you cannot say Israel, they are people made specially. I want to quote it. Made specially. We are all wonderfully made.
Yes.
But God's dealing with Israel. Don't underrate, no matter how little a girl or a boy may be. All of them have their peculiar training as far as intelligence is concerned. So anybody who does that definitely will be caught. Some people used to do that. But the church, we don't encourage people to do that, even if we are not going on holy pilgrimage. Anybody coming to tell us, oh, when I get somewhere, I want to travel, pray for me. The Apostolic Church and many other churches, they don't want to do that. It's better you do it the normal way. If you want to seek for a job or whatever, some people will say asylum. But if you say they want to kill you, it will be a day that you say you want to travel. They will say, no, you are not safe. You maybe in future, you are now well established. You said your sister is coming to visit you. The government may not allow it. Your mother wants to come. They say it was your mother who wanted to kill you 30 years ago. The record will be there. So, and is this unknown future that will judge? So, it's not good to do that. Though many people think the country has reached the terminal point, which I want to say no. So go, come back. And even if you want to stay somewhere, do it properly.
The right way.
Do it properly.
All right, sir. I want you to highlight some of the places that those going will be visiting, so that at least they will have the knowledge of the places they will be visiting.
Well, when you get there, we have many places that we will go.
Okay.
Like some people used to go to only Israel. Some people used to go to only Jordan. Some people go to Egypt. Like last year, August, that the Apostolic Church organized, we visited the three countries. Egypt, the Kingdom of Jordan, and the state of Israel, which is Jerusalem, that people used to say. So, but the one we are going for now will be Israel, that is Jerusalem, and Kingdom of Jordan. The peculiarities of these places. Jordan has many of the places that has to do with the Old Testament.
Okay.
Like the place where Elijah was born, Tipsy, then Nebo, where Moses died. And in fact, if you stand like this on Mount Nebo, you'll be looking at the promised land ahead. Like you'll be seeing it ahead like this. And anybody who visited that place or you have the opportunity to visit, nobody will get there that will not shed tears. That how can I work for 40 years or almost 40 years and I get here just looking ahead of me like this, the place I'm going to, and I couldn't get there. And any servant of God who will reach that place and see like that must become born again. Born again, in quote. That is, you know, there are temptations here and there. That is Mount Nebo and some other places, Elijah's river, where Elijah was taken to heaven. We'll visit those places and many other places in Jordan. Then in the Israel side, we visit Nazareth.
Okay.
Nazareth in Galilee, Mount Tabor, then Church of Annunciation, where Gabriel, the angel, appeared to Mary. So, St. Joseph's Church. St. Joseph's Church, is situated on top of the site of his father's carpentry workshop.
Okay, so we just have less than 1 minute. So
Okay,
you can just
another
round
time
it
I
off.
think I will have in my full time.
All right, and maybe next week when you come back, we'll continue from the places, then the
Okay.
significance of going there. So we'll continue from there next week. So viewers, if you really want to go to Jerusalem, since the church is partnering with a travel agent, please, you can contact us, or you can just check the number showing on the promo. You can just call in to ask questions. All right, thank you, Daddy, for coming today. This is how far we can go on today's episode of Morning Delight. The repeat broadcast will be shown at 10 p.m. and we'll give you fresh episode tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Do have a wonderful day. Bye for now.